You can come from nowhere and be a global superstar with your music.
Welcome to African Voices. I'm Maritoko. This week, we'll look at the power of music. We'll start with an all-access pass to Nigeria's biggest music award show celebrating Afrobeat artists. The founder of the Headies shows us what it takes to bring the event to the US.
For me, is history.
Shout out to the city of Atlanta for hosting the 15th annual Headies Awards.
The world has not seen this before, and that's why I'm so excited about it.
I like it.
So we want to throw up the new guys for the world to see how talented we are, so that we can build on it. I created a platform to celebrate and elevate Afrobeat artists around the world. I am Ayo Animashaun, and I'm a change maker. We're having media credentials and ticketing.
Nigerian entertainment entrepreneur Ayo Animashaun
Hello everyone.
is hard at work. He and his team have traveled halfway around the world to debut the Headies in the United States. The award show is one of Nigeria's biggest nights in music, showcasing top Afrobeat artists from around the continent. But after 14 successful years in the West African nation, Ayo believes it's time to push the boundaries even further.
The award show is as big as it gets where we're from.
Are you ready to party tonight?
And we want the world to see it. If it continues to happen in our backyard, you're not going to see them. Atlanta is the black entertainment capital of the world, and we want a different space where these guys can breathe, and we want a mixed audience.
To pull off this massive feat, Ayo surrounds himself with a trusted team.
The most important part of having an award ceremony as big as the Headies is the people behind the production of the award itself. Some people have worked on the Headies since day one. Day one, and they're still here.
Those closest to Ayo know he's a music lover through and through. It's a passion the entrepreneur says he developed at a young age.
I started getting into entertainment 10 years old. I would listen to all the songs. Like my dad, I was daddy's little boy. He was a music lover. He was a good dancer. So I think I kind of like picked interest from him. As a little boy, I was influenced by the Western music.
As he grew up, Ayo found creative ways to connect with music.
We would listen and write out the lyrics. We just wanted to be able to sing the songs. We wanted to know every line in the song and what they said and all that. And it was just fun. We wrote them and gave our friends. And at some point, I just, wait a minute, I could start selling this.
In 1995, Ayo laid the foundation of his entertainment empire with the launch of Hip Hop World magazine.
I wanted to do something different. Number one, we didn't have the right to the songs to monetize it. So we started having like researching the profiles of the artists, who produced what song, where they came from, who co-produced, what they did before then, and we turned it to something else, to something else that everybody wanted to see.
But something was missing.
After the first and second year, we said, wait a minute, we had to promote our own guys. We were never on the cover of these magazines. So I was like, you know what, put us on the cover. The first cover of Hip Hop World magazine that sold well was the one that we had a cover called Leaders of the New School. The new generation of African artists, the guys that are coming up, that was the emergence of Afrobeat. We had a big poster of our own artists in the magazine. And that was the first time you could actually really cut, remove pages of the magazine and you paste African artists on your wall.
As Afrobeat started gaining popularity, Ayo's ambitions grew with it. In 2006, he organized the first Hip Hop World Awards, which eventually turned into the Headies.
Let me be the very first person to officially welcome you to the very first edition of the Hip Hop World Awards.
There were award shows in Nigeria before the Headies. They didn't even understand how to categorize the songs. So I decided saying, all the awards around the world. I told my people when I got back to Nigeria that if we had to succeed with what we do, it has to be true to us. We can borrow technicalities like lights, camera angles and all that, but we can't borrow our culture. It has to represent our own music, our own categories, and the way we want to express ourselves to the world.
You guys made us. We love you guys.
We decided to celebrate artists, and at that point I remember I was putting out billboards and saying, "Get ready for a revolution." After the first awards, it was like boom.
But this year, the media mogul quickly learned planning a music award show in the US is far different than putting on a show in Nigeria.
I'm relearning some of the things I thought I knew. Number one, funding is totally different. Having to work with new set of people, with new ideas, with different ways of doing things, it's just so different.
Today, Ayo is checking in on the venue where setup is underway.
We're at Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. This is where all the magic will happen. No cameras are allowed, but you guys have the exclusive. This is where all the performances will happen. This is where careers will be transformed.
As the soundcheck wraps up for the day, the music exec is cautiously optimistic.
I think there will be great performances. I think this is just going to be different from what we've had.
Next, VIPs and artists arrive as the 15th annual Headies Awards gets underway.
1, 2, 3, go.
It's the start of a new chapter for one of Nigeria's biggest music award shows, the Headies. In September, its founder, Ayo Animashaun, brought the Afrobeat show to America for the first time.
Right now, we're at the backstage, 15th Headies history, and we've got a lot happening here. I can't wait. All the stars are here. All the veterans, the underdogs, and the new ones the world need to see. It's crazy, the energy is amazing, everybody's excited, so many moving parts, but everything is coming together.
Within hours, the venue is transformed into a mecca for Afrobeat artists.
When we do our show, it's always like massive red carpet, massive. It's so massive. Where we're from, we're all about our culture, our dress sense, our fashion. I've not seen what I'm used to yet. I'm seeing a smaller carpet, but an interesting carpet too, because I see a lot of faces and a lot of celebrities.
While there was plenty of glitz and glam, for many, it was the significance of this moment that took center stage.
It's a groundbreaking stuff, to have this award show here, in Atlanta.
I think for me, it's just capping off the idea that our music is proliferating around the world.
Ayo Animashaun is a legend. I told him, I said he's one of the titans.
Finally, Ayo's vision became a reality.
We are celebrating Africa and honoring some of music's biggest stars.
The star-studded show was filled with performances, guest appearances,
Lagos continues to remain home to the greatest stars that the world is here to see. And so today, indeed, we're happy that we can bring Lagos to ATL.
and of course, winners.
Benson, this is for everybody that actually believes in a dream.
Benson took home the coveted Next Rated award, dubbing him the most promising artist of the year. To top it off, he was also gifted the keys to a 2022 Bentley. Benson was still in shock the next day when he and several other Afrobeat artists dropped by Morehouse College, a historically black college and university in Atlanta.
Last night was amazing. I was really surprised actually, because this is an award show I only used to watch as a kid, and then growing up, and then I started chasing my dream, and I actually won one, and it came with a Bentley too, so I'm excited.
For Ayo, seeing these artists succeed means a job well done.
I'm happy that at the end of the day, we were able to pull it off. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. I'm so happy that people thought it was a great show and they liked it, and the artists were really excited, and the ones that won were really happy they did.
Ayo says he wanted to make sure they met with local students before traveling back home.
You can't come to Atlanta and bring the Headies to Atlanta and not visit more house. I needed them to experience this.
It's a gateway opportunity for people to experience what it is that we're about and see for themselves, and also to learn, for us to learn.
With the Headies also coming around at this time last night, and with the increased interest in entertainment overseas in Africa with Afrobeats and it becoming more popular in the US, it was just the perfect collaboration. It happened at the perfect time for the students.
Ayo says he will never give up on his goal of empowering African artists around the world.
The music guys, you can come from nowhere and be a global superstar with your music. And we want people to see that more.
And as for next year, he says he's ready to hit the ground running with hopes of bringing another award show to Atlanta.
We're just beginning. We want to, at every opportunity we have, we want to show some of them to the world, for the world to be able to see how talented Afrobeat artists are, and for them to see beyond the names that they already know.
Thanks so much for watching. Check out our official Apple Music playlist to hear some of the music from this episode and many other hits. I'm Ayo, and I'll see you next time.